there, everybody. I want to tell you about this ghost story that I've been holding back on because the person that it was happening to was somebody that I don't like, period. It's my ex-brother-in-law. Even though he's still married to my sister, I don't have a relationship with neither, so I don't like to bring him up. But this ghost story is important to me. It's important to me because that part that happened there at that moment opened my eyes to the monster he was. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that monster he is, as well as the monster in the room. I'm going to start with he started getting sick and this and that. Nobody knew. Of course, my sister keeps everything. Everything's a secret, right? So, because they're always up to no good. So, anyway, we ended up finding out that he was in the hospital for some reason. I went to a local store here, Walmart, and I got a whole bunch of stuff like coloring books and magazines. I got him some markers and stuff like that, so he can have something to do in the hospital while he's there. I spent maybe like $30 on the stuff, took him the stuff. I came to find out the room where he was at, so I went up there. On the way up there, there was a knock from one of the doors, and I saw it. I saw the door. I passed it, and I kept going, right? And I went all the way to the room. I ended up going into the room, and I was telling him about the stuff that I had gotten him, and right? It turns out that the whole time he was standing right there next to him, and he was telling me in a very harsh, ugly voice, he was telling me that he was waiting for him. He's waiting for him. He said, I'm waiting for him, you know. And I said to him with my mind, why? He's going to be ugly to you. His sister hates you. And the whole time he was standing there, I was staring at him. My brother-in-law was telling me something, and I wasn't paying attention to him. Then I turned to him, and he thinks he realized that something was up, but he was thinking something else. He was thinking that I was slow and retarded because I wasn't paying attention to him. I ended up raising my head again because he was still talking to me. And he said, see? You see how he thinks about you? And I looked back down and I saw him. And he thought that I was stupid and slow, even though I had just gifted him some stuff so he can pass the time. He still thought that about me. The generosity that I gave to him that day was given to me back in a way that I knew he was going to take advantage of me in the future, and that he was going to do it by convincing my sister to do things, because that's what the ghost implied, the voice implied, because I never saw the ghost. He wasn't there. So, I don't know, the voice was there, you know. I don't know how he knew me, or how he knew that I was going to be there, but he followed me all the way to the room, and he wasn't laughing. He was being serious. He was telling me that I needed to be careful. And to think that it was a plot because his family hates me. You want me to tell you why they hate me? I'm going to tell you. I was married in high school. In high school. Yes, the last 2 years of my high school, I was married. No, I think it was 3 years. Anyway, yeah, 3 years. I ended up marrying in May of my freshman year, and I ended up being married my 3 years of high school. We were too young. My husband was still fooling around, and he was 1 year younger than I was. I was 17 and he was 16. We were forced to be married because I got pregnant. I didn't want to marry him. I didn't have any feelings for him. I didn't know what I was feeling, really, to tell you the truth, what was going on. He started to have an affair with my brother-in-law's sister at that time. At that time, my sister was not married to my brother-in-law. She was 2 years younger than I was, so they hadn't really met yet. I don't think so. But they knew each other. They knew each other from high school. Excuse me, what was that? Anyway, burping in the middle of the night. I went ahead and found out about the affair, and she gave me a really hard time about it, and would come around making offers to my mother-in-law and bringing her gifts in front of me. She was real cruel and rude, and then her sisters joined in. She had two evil sisters too, and they joined in and they bullied me in school. I don't, to this day, like them for that reason. In the back of my mind, I always thought they're gonna be married someday. They're gonna stick it out because they're the type that would. Yeah, I wouldn't stick it out because I'm not the type that I would. I don't place myself in victim mood ever. So I wouldn't do that to myself. I'm too superior. So I ended up, growing up and seeing what I saw, and sure enough, that's what happened. And the pointy thing about it is that they're still together, they're still suffering, and my sister is now their sister-in-laws, so they're all married and they're all related. Today, I just wanted to tell you that ghost story because it's important for people to know who I am and where I come from and why they do those things to me, why those people do those things to me, or do and still today. You know, they join together and torture me. They join together and say things to me in public, and all I do is walk away, and I ain't gonna confront stupidity. I'm way over that. I grew up a long time ago, dude. Just like anybody that has an early marriage and early life. I grew up. And I'm very peaceful now. I live a very peaceful life. I always have. I made it my priority. And nobody was going to interfere with that. Not a man, not a woman, not a child, nobody. Except for my grandson. So, that person is coming for my brother-in-law. Eventually. Straight to hell.